to the channel. It's July 25th, 2024. It's a Thursday. A lot of things happen on July 25th. Uh, the channel's books, travels, history, and tales. We'll see about some tales later on, but I got a question like, what are you doing with this channel? What's going on with it? Initially, I started this basically to leave something to my children and now my grandchildren, in case they ever wondered what I was really all about. And I've learned they don't care. Kidding. But mostly I wanted to uh, kind of teach history because there's a lot of things that we have missed. We've lost our taste for civics, our importance as our younger children grow up, that they need to know about these things. Teaching history it employs a lot of resources and sources. If you look around me, all I've got is books. I got plenty of those. I like to hit into some travels, got plenty of history. I'll usually lay in a couple of tall tales, but I'll try to keep them simple. I don't care so much about YouTube as far as a money making source because I don't think that's ever going to happen, but that's a nice thought. Roll in 28 bucks a month, cover a doctor's visit deductible, but who knows? But a lot of things that some students forget the way our government is set up. Uh, and it's all history anyway, and it's checks and balances. I'm reading something that Ted Cruz, the senator from Texas, is still thinking that he can become president. He cannot. He was born in Canada. There's a certain website that says, yeah, he can. No, no, he can't. Natural born citizen. And in the Constitution, people say, well, it wasn't clearly defined. Well, let's look at the people who wrote the Constitution. James Madison, primary writer of the Constitution. The convention was held over the summer. The president of the U.S. Constitutional Convention was George Washington, also native born of the Virginia colony. Wasn't, you know, on the soil. In fact, if you're going to be technical, the first person to become president that was born in the United States of America didn't speak English as his native language. He spoke it as a second language. He spoke Dutch. He's from New York, a little magician, Martin Van Buren. Um, so, you know, I'm often reminded of the Goldwater, Barry Goldwater thing. Technically, he was born in 1909, 3 years before Arizona became a state. It was a territory, but territories are covered. Canada is not. Ted Cruz was born in Canada.
So you're Canadian, eh?
I'll read you a note. It's July 25th, but let's imagine now it's 1787, and you're the president of the Constitutional Convention. You get this little note. Permit me to hint whether it would not be wise and seasonable to provide a strong check to the admission of foreigners and to the administration of our national government, and to declare expressly that the command in chief of the American army shall not be given to nor devolve on any but a natural born citizen. Emphasis provided on that. The argument is, well, they meant European. Okay. What about Canadian? Oh no, that they're Canadian. No, not then. Canada was part of Britain. It was still a colony of Britain. So yeah, no. The writer of that meant exactly Canadians. By the way, the writer was John Jay, soon to be the Chief Justice of the First Supreme Court. So I think we kind of know how they would have bent if that came up in their administration or dealing with that in their time. All right, well, that's all the history lesson. Let's go to the fun stuff now, because y'all miss out a lot of stuff. I don't know how I find this. Sometimes I like to go into history of words. Yeah, that's a history too. Villain. I always thought I knew what that meant. Well, if you use the word villain in feudal England, you would be referring to a poor person, but honest, who worked hard as a serf. It comes from a Latin term meaning villainous, a farm servant, which it was first recorded in a play, 1822, by Charles Lamb, as a dastardly, snidely, whiplash type character. So before then, you were just poor old farm boy. Teenager. Take note. Dates back fairly recent, 1941. The word teenage was first used in 1921. Teen was used as a noun to describe a less than adult person in 1818. Teenage comes from 1952. It was a spin off of tween, what usually meant to describe girls between childhood and adolescence. Girls. A marketing target. Yeah. Middle English, it meant misery and grief. From the wisdom of Harry S. Truman, one of my favorites. I can't do his twang. I wish I could. Statement, a statesman is a politician who's been dead for 10 or 15 years. And he was fond of Washington, D.C. His wife hated it. Bess Truman was almost never with him. She would always leave and go back to Missouri. He was asked one time about his friends. He goes, "You want a friend in Washington? Get a dog." Gee. A logical argument. Demonstrate two things at one time. This would be, let's make like a tree and leave. Some of these I've never heard of. Make like a bakery truck and move your buns. Not my favorite. This one is. Make like a nut and bolt. Make like an atom and split. I could see where that came from in the 1940s. Make like rain and get the hell out of here. Well, that's always good. Make a note of that. Credo, I owe a cock to Acephalus. Will you remember to pay that debt? Last words of Socrates. What a philosopher. One of my favorites, Benjamin Franklin. The U.S. Constitution doesn't guarantee happiness, only the pursuit of it. You have to catch up with it yourself. Have a good day. All that's kind of like history, just like these books. It's all in the past. See you tomorrow. Talk about today. Bye.